At just 16, he became emperor of China's greatest dynasty. By 33, he hung himself as his empire burned. This is the tragic story of Chongzhen, the last ruler of the Ming Dynasty, a hard-working king whose best efforts couldn't save a collapsing kingdom. But how did it all go so wrong? In 1627, a sudden death changed the Ming Dynasty forever. The carpenter Emperor Tianqi was dead, leaving behind an empire gutted by corruption. Now 16-year-old Chongzhen takes the throne, only to discover a court controlled by the ruthless eunuch Wei Zhongxian, bloody purges of reformist Donglin scholars, a dynasty crumbling under peasant rebellion and Manchu invasion. The young emperor worked hard, rose at 4 a.m., reviewed 100-plus daily reports. He moved with lightning speed. Within just 3 months on the throne, Chongzhen annihilated the notorious eunuch faction. A clean victory? Not even close. The purge backfired spectacularly. Now, court factions simply rebranded. Donglin versus anti-Donglin, and the political bloodshed grew even worse. In 1629, the Manchu army bypassed the Great Wall and besieged Beijing. General Yuan Chonghuan raced 9,000 cavalry across hundreds of miles and saved the capital. Yet just a year later, he was publicly executed by slow slicing, accused of treason. What really happened? The Manchus played a masterstroke of deception. They spread rumors that Yuan had secretly allied with them. Emperor Chongzhen, already paranoid, believed the lie. Court factions fueled the fire. The result, in 1630, Yuan Chonghuan was brutally executed, one of Ming's last great generals gone. Historians agree. This single act sped up the Ming dynasty's collapse by at least 10 years. A classic case of destroying your own Great Wall. Emperor Chongzhen's personality, paranoid, volatile, and inflexible, severely undermined his leadership. During his 17-year reign, he executed 7 provincial governors and 11 regional commanders, went through 14 defense ministers like disposable pawns. Every general feared they'd be next, while Manchu invaders grew stronger. To make matters worse, in 1633, Shandong defectors handed the Manchus a devastating gift: China's most advanced firepower. Overnight, the Qing army formed its elite Red Cannon Corps, using the Ming's own best weapons against them. Meanwhile, disaster struck on all fronts. The Little Ice Age brought crippling droughts, year after year. Triple taxes crushed peasants to fund failing wars. Wave after wave of peasant uprisings began tearing the empire apart. By 1644, as Li Zicheng's rebel army closed in on Beijing, the Ming dynasty teetered on collapse. The court split into factions. Flee south. Some urged relocating the capital to Nanjing. Send the crown prince. Others proposed evacuating the heir while Chongzhen stayed to inspire troops. Death before dishonor. Hardliners shouted, branding retreat as cowardice. A true emperor dies with his capital. Paralyzed by indecision, Chongzhen feared being remembered as the emperor who abandoned his throne, and worried he'd lose authority if he fled. So he demanded a consensus from officials. But after firing 50 prime ministers in 17 years, no minister dared stick their neck out. While the court kept arguing, Li Zicheng's army smashed through Jiuyong Pass, cutting off any chance to escape south. The debate was over. The Ming dynasty's fate was sealed. Historians agree. Had Chongzhen decisively moved south, the Ming could have survived for another century, just like the Southern Song dynasty did centuries earlier. But his fatal indecision, the infighting among his officials, and his obsession with dying with honor together sealed the dynasty's tragic fate. On Beijing's last night, Chongzhen rang the palace alarm bell. Not a single official answered. In those final desperate hours, he smuggled his 3 sons out in commoners' clothes, but none survived the rebellion. His bloodline died with him. He forced his empress to hang herself to avoid capture, then killed his teenage daughter with his own sword. With his empire in flames, the abandoned emperor made his final journey to Coal Hill, accompanied only by a single loyal eunuch. As the first light of dawn touched the burning capital, 33-year-old Chongzhen ended his life, and the Ming Dynasty with his own hands. He left the blood-written death poem. 17 years a ruler, now besieged by traitors. My flawed virtue summoned heaven's wrath, yet my ministers betrayed me most. Too ashamed to face my ancestors in death, I cast off my crown. Veil my face with unbound hair. Let rebels dismember my corpse, but spare every last commoner. Chongzhen's tragedy wasn't just his alone. It was the death cry of an entire era. The Ming didn't fall because it was weak. It fell because it couldn't change.